They have won 8 championships in a row, and some of the championships were 10 points ahead. So, if after 8 championships, if you want to talk, first win 8 championships, and then you talk.
Ooh. But the thing is, it took him 4
and
years.
that's to you, Klopp.
Oh!
You got that? Come on, I'm all pumped up before all my pressure goes off.
What pressure?
All the juice, right? All
The juice,
sugo.
yeah, all the juice.
Sugo.
You're going to let the juice out?
Sauce.
All right, let's go.
Okay, how about I start the podcast right now?
I think you should start the podcast.
Okay, hey
It was
guys.
a great week for you.
Ready?
let's go.
1, 2, 3, clap. Nobody clap.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, hello everybody. This is the first time that Antonio is introducing the podcast here live from the dungeon of Mike's basement. On my left over here, I have Peter, the Inter Milan.
Where'd you learn left and right body?
Your left? No, on my left. Hello.
Yeah, if you turn all the way 360.
Yeah.
So my left, okay?
Yeah.
Next to Peter, we have the
Can you
king
give
over
it in
here, the
degrees?
king of the Juventus, the Bianconeri, Gaetano, you know. Actually, we call him La Mosca Bianca because it's very rare. You never can find him. He never calls you back. He never answers to your messages. The guy, it's like you have to put a $10,000 bill to make him talk 1 second. Then next to him, we have Marco, the troublemaker, his son. And then next to me, it's Mike.
The only Greek on the podcast.
The only Greek on the podcast.
And very proud.
And he's a crybaby because yesterday, I guess he didn't take it the right way. The fact that Inter
already
lost
jumping into it?
against Lazio. It was real miserable, guys.
He wouldn't come to eat with us.
Yeah.
That's
he-
not
he-
the reason.
On a Greek place. I said, we
That's
choose
not
even
the
a Greek
reason.
place.
Mike, he was
Yeah.
so sad
I
that
didn't
Inter
stay
lost.
here. I left
Man,
that-
he didn't answer us.
Yeah.
We were trying to talk to
Exaggerating.
him.
They're
Oh.
exaggerating.
Man.
He made up that he had a family party.
What happened to this guy? He wins one game, and all of a sudden,
No,
That's all it takes.
Inter lost. Inter lost.
he
And Inter
introduces.
lost. Listen,
He introduces the
yesterday we won.
podcast.
Yesterday we won twice. Inter lost and AC Milan won today. So it's like 2 games in
A double win.
double win, a win-win situation.
Sad to see how far Milan has fallen.
Oh,
Let me tell you something.
snap.
Let me tell you something. Where were you last week? You were first place. Tell me, where are you now?
Third place.
Third.
3
Hello.
points. It's
3
okay.
points.
That's
Okay.
fine.
I'll tell you what.
What?
Tell you what. The panic is gonna start to settle in if something goes not right 100% the next couple of weeks. You're gonna tell me.
Well, the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a tough test.
Oh, yeah.
We have Juventus March 1st. So
But you're the best team on the world. You shouldn't be.
Who said
fearing
best
the
team in the-
best.
Who said that? Who
You know,
gave you?
Juventus. Juventus should be nothing for you. Should be a walk on the park.
We should be trembling.
Yeah, you guys should be
That's what I'm
trembling. Yeah. Look at this guy
my
here. So what are you gonna do next week, Mike? You're gonna become a Juventus fan?
I'm already a Lazio fan.
Oh, Lazio fan. Sorry, Pete.
Overnight, I transformed.
It's okay.
So I'm
You're
good.
a Lazio.
Flipper has flipped again back.
I was
You
very happy
don't
Lazio
worry.
took the
Don't worry
Scudetto.
about Inter. You got to worry about your
Don't worry.
Milan.
Hey,
Say
Milan's
words
going
of
on
wisdom
right
from
now.
Fiorentina.
First of
You
all,
go to
Lazio for our
Fiorentina.
podcast.
Okay, let me tell you something about Fiorentina. Aside from Joe Barone and Rocco, which are our friends, I think AC Milan is going to take that. And we're going to go to Florence and we're going to win the game. Sorry, Joe, for this time. You're going to hate me, but it is what it is.
He's not your friend.
Okay? So, and Cutrone, already we spoke with him. We're going to keep him quiet. Maybe he's going to be starting on the bench because they suspect that something is still going on Cutrone's heart. Cutrone still is bleeding red and black. So, for a
don't know
little
about
while,
that.
a
He's got
little
a
bit
tattoo.
more. He's got a tattoo of AC Milan.
Yeah,
So,
for
I
his
see.
debut.
He covered it in purple. So
He did?
yeah.
How do you
he
know that,
didn't. He
Mike?
didn't cover
He
it.
called me yesterday.
So, Marco, take over. I don't know what you want
Yeah.
you want to start.
Where are we starting off first?
No, I mean, listen, we had, I think it's been a little while since we had us all on the podcast.
Yeah.
right?
Especially Gaetano.
At
He's
least
been
just
slipping
us.
away from us.
You've been
So he's
busy
back.
Yeah, well,
making deals?
I was sick one
Oh, yeah,
week,
you were.
That's right. Yeah.
and then some people they have to work.
This guy's like a needle of the haystack. You know, once in a while we find him.
The people have been missing you. I saw in the comments. They're all asking where you
yeah?
are. Yeah.
They said bring the person that actually knows how to speak Calcio and stop bringing Anto. So we're like, okay, that means
that's
Gaetano
nice.
has to
Thank
go
you.
back. You're looking good now. You look like
Thank
$1
you.
million. You look all
Hey,
good.
can you take this guy out of here, please?
I'm,
Just sit-
I'm ready.
Huh?
I think we got to bring one of the kids back and just replace
Yeah,
him with,
oh, yeah.
with
Wait,
Mike.
replace me or someone else on this podcast?
No, it's good. But yeah, again, another exciting week of Serie A. And I think this was the week where I saw a lot more people pushing over to watch the league. I saw so many after this Inter-Lazio game, which was obviously a battle for who's going to be second place. And, there's still some doubts. I think a lot of people had doubts about Lazio, maybe ones that don't watch Serie A as much. And they prove when they play the top teams, they do not stop. I know Peter's rolling his eyes over there, but I think that's the only natural place for us to begin because it was, the biggest game of the
you
weekend.
played against the best midfielder in Italy. I think that guy Luis Alberto and Milankovic is Savic, man. Mia. They are really good. In the middle, and I was disappointed in what Conte said after the game. They asked him about Eriksson. First of all, I thought he should have brought Eriksson before. I think he brought it in too late. The guy went in, he took a shot, and for a couple of inches, it would have been the goal to tie the game. He was offside. Lautaro was offside for a couple of inches. But he says something interesting after the game. They asked him about Eriksson, and they said, are you going to change your formation? Because you played the 3-5-2, and playing the 3-5-2, it's not really Eriksson. Where do you put Eriksson on a 3-5-2? It's really, it's not his position. It's probably better if you play the 4-3-1-2 or the 4-2-3-1. But the 4-3-1-2, then you put Eriksson. You got the two forwards, and you got Eriksson behind. That's probably his ideal position. And you know what Conte said? Did you hear it?
What did he say?
He said, listen, we got here without Eriksson.
Oh.
He goes, and, I'm not sure that I need to make any changes and change the formation for him.
You see, he cannot take a constructing criticism. He cannot take it like a real man because the guy, it's like un megalomane. In Italian, we have this word. How do you translate in English, Pete?
I don't know.
Megalomane.
What's his word? You don't know.
That sounds like an ancient Greek word.
No,
It's like when you ego. Right?
Ego, a super ego guy. It's got too much of an ego. Yeah, megalomane. It's an Italian word. That
No, it's not.
Translate it.
Let me just tell you, megalo means big in Greek, so that's probably the root of it. I'm not sure if it's...
Yeah, well, everything comes from the Greek. If you've seen the movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, you figure that out. Okay. So, but megalomane means big ego. What gets me, Pete, a player like that, you spend so much money, you just campaign so hard to get it, and then you get somebody like, the Swedish or the Norwegian, whatever is he from?
Danish.
Danish, okay. Why don't you plug it in from the very beginning? The guy's a very good midfielder. You put him next to Barella. The guy, especially now that Sensi is running, just put him in.
Well, I think they want to take more time to get used to it. He's only been there a few weeks, and maybe he's not used to his tactics yet. And then maybe you want to try him 15, 20 minutes.
That guy's not a beginner. The guy's been playing on a major league.
But it's a whole new formation, new tactics of
You're telling me that he's not capable to learn?
No, I'm sure he's going to start eventually, but it's taking his time.
Mike, they practice all the time, those guys. I think Conte...
He's got to ease him in slowly.
I think Eriksson, his position is a little bit of a strange one. Like he said, I think it doesn't really fit. Not to say it's a case or anything. I'm just saying that he's more of an attacking midfielder. And Conte's 3-5-2, they're more of mezzalas. It's more one guy that sits in front of the defense, and then the two mezzalas that have to do a lot of work. Where Eriksson is more adapted to being like
right behind the striker.
Kind of like a free role behind the striker. From what I've seen of him in a free range player. And like you said, Conte is probably not willing to do his 3-5-2. Even in his interview, though, he had a former player from Bari when he was at his time at Bari. He became a journalist, and they had like a laugh saying, "Remember, we won everything at Bari with a 4-2-4." So just to say that it used to be his 4-2-4, even though Eriksson still wouldn't fit there. But
okay, let's look at the maestro here.
Would you be able to? Then
we see it.
You can see it.
So this is what I was talking about. So he's got the three
defenders.
This is Candreva and this is Young, and then these are the three midfielders, right? So where do you put Eriksson? Eriksson ideal position is right here, So if you put Eriksson in one of those three positions, first of all, there's too much space at times between these people and these people. There's too much space. In fact, Lukaku is very good because if you give him the ball, then he stops and he puts it on the ground and he waits for these people to come up. That's what he does. But this is too far from where Eriksson. So if you, let's say Eriksson is here and all of a sudden now you lose the ball, hey, you got to come back here right away.
There's a gap.
So, this is up and down. And he's really not a fighter. It's not really somebody in the middle of the field that fights and that wins the ball.
He's a technical player.
And
he's more of a tactical player. So probably his position is probably better if you play the 4-3. And then, then these guys, they get the ball, they give it to him, and then with one pass, he can get this, or he can take a shot. He's got a nice shot. And he gave, in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, he gave a nice ball to Lukaku. With the outside of his foot, somebody gave him the ball in first touch. He didn't even look. With the outside of his foot, he gave it to Lukaku. Lukaku shot with the left, they hit the player. So he's very good. He's got vision. He's very technical. He plays first touch. He's got and he's got a nice shot.
Now, Gaetano, what if he does a 3-4-1-2?
That's what I was about to say.
How would that work?
About to say, Gaetano. The 3-4-1-2, you can still work out because you just take the midfielder, like you said.
He doesn't try that formation.
You still close. You still try to clog the midfield line with 4 players.
If you check Conte's teams, they always defend with at least 9 guys behind them.
But that's what I'm saying.
He needs the width. He needs the width of the field, right? Mm-hmm. So when he plays with 3-5-2, right? So these guys, what happened? These guys are very wide.
You get wingers.
Okay? Yeah. You got the wings, which these guys, they can defend, they can midfield. This player has to be able to defend, midfield, and then when he gets here, he's got to be able to cross the ball, which Young knows how to do, and which Candreva knows how to, and which Moses knows how to do. So if you play... this is just what I'm thinking. If you play the 3-4, if this guy goes wide and this guy goes wide, right? It's a little bit. If you have a midfield like Lazio, when Eriksson went in, the Inter was suffering right here because Eriksson was not coming back.
He wasn't defending.
Right. Yeah, so over here, Lazio. It was
very light over there.
Dominated,
it was easier.
They were dominating. So this one would not work. But if you play the 4-3-1-2, right? If you play, then these 2 guys can go, right? These guys can stay wide. And then out of these 3, they cannot all go up, especially if this guy goes here and this guy goes here, then these guys, they have to stay back, at least 2 of them. So you defend with 1, 2, 3, 4. If you attack with 4, then you defend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You still have the defense is still good. You don't have to worry about the defense. Or the 4-3-2-1, or the
4-3-1-2.
The 4-2, 3-1, which a lot of the English teams plays, right? But he's got.
These are not adapted for him, though.
Right? Yeah, because
he's not going to switch this.
You got Lukaku and you got
on the 2 over there.
Yeah,
Barella and Brozovic.
Yeah, the Lautaro.
Yeah, he's not going to.
Lautaro. He plays forward, so this would be ideal for Eriksson. This position here.
You got to change a whole.
Yeah, but Lautaro, where do you put Lautaro? You will put Sanchez. So probably the best thing for him is if we would do the 4-2-3-1. He didn't have to change much. This guy's young, can still go up and down. On this side, he could have Moses, he could have Barella going up and down, or D'Ambrosio going up and down, and then you have your 3 midfielders, which you have right now. Brozovic with Barella and
Sensi or Vecino, whoever.
Or Vecino, and then these guys, they're going to get the ball to him, and then he can. He can.
You know what I saw yesterday on the second half, Gaetano? The second half, Lazio is starting to just go across the midfield, with just bypassing the midfield with long balls. Okay, so what's his name? Milinkovic-Savic. He was, he was just sucked in by all of those long balls, and he always came in, just stopped the ball, put the ball down on the floor, and all the inter midfield were bypassed like with one pass. So Lazio was right there in front of inside of the box of the Inter area with ease, very ease. So the wingers, while Savic was controlling the ball, were already in place, either to receive the ball or just to take the other defender away from them. And that's what I think Lazio I think exploited the fact that Inter has got this 5 on the midfield.
Pete, what do you think about the match as an Inter fan?
As an Inter fan, the result, you lost 2-1. It does hurt. Right, but in the end, if you look forward, you say, okay, it's 3 points. Yes, you lost the 3 points against the one of the competitors for the Scudetto race, but the season is very long. There's still a lot of time to make up. The most important thing now, I think, is trying to figure out how Inter can make these new players involved, which is Eriksen, let's say, and how can he fit into their system, and how can they fit into and be able to play the way they were playing before, let's say, Sensi got injured. Because I'm thinking Conte, right? We know for a fact he likes his physical players. He likes the players. That's why a lot of the players he gets from the Premier League is because they already are able to play at a physical level. They're up and down. Ashley Young, Moses, these are guys that have played for a long time within those leagues. That being said, Eriksen is not a typical Conte player. He's a player. He's not. He's a player that can move the ball.
We'll take him if you want to give it to us.
Unbelievable technical player. No, but hold on. What I'm trying to say is not a typical player, but I think Conte was definitely part of the reason of getting Eriksen to this team. So he has a place for him. It's just a matter of figuring out where he can put him. I think, the risk is, as Gaetano was showing, you can't put Eriksen in that 5-man midfield because he's not going to have the intensity to move up and down the field as a box-to-box. But then again, when we had Sensi, Brozovic, Barella, that's when Inter was moving the ball. When we had two creative players, Brozovic and Sensi, and then having that Barella, who was that workhorse in that team, that's when Inter was able to flourish and we scored a lot of goals. Now with the Vecino, with the Gagliardini, we added more muscle, but if you see the build-up has become slow, has become...
so you're suffering because of lack of brain power, because you guys don't have much of a brain to begin with.
You need that creative spark. You need that creative spark. That being said, now...
Lack of brain power.
It is true. That's true.
That being said... Listen,
it's just funny how you said it.
Lazio deserve a lot of credit. They were able to beat Juventus twice in 1 week. They beat Inter. They are a team that are contenders, and they're not
shying away from it.
Yeah, they're not going to be leaving anytime soon. So now it's just a matter of can Lazio keep this up? They have how many games unbeaten? 19? 19 games unbeaten for a team
in their history.
They spent only $57 million on this roster, the starting 11.
Wow. Okay? And they kept the most important players.
That's less than just Lukaku himself. Okay, so they've have a lot of good players, and I've been saying it from the beginning that they're balanced. You have a balanced team.
But Pete, I think what's going on with you guys, I know what the problem is. You named so many players, Sanchez, this guy Lazaro.
I didn't mention those two.
You have so many right now that you bought, okay? Because Conte wants to grab everything. I want it. That guy, I want it. That guy, I want it. That guy, I want it. So you got so many players, and now you're creating yourself a problem.
Well,
who you're going to start?
Guess what?
There's no problem.
Who you're going to start?
There's never been a problem.
Let me tell you something. Eriksen is a
never
starter.
been a problem. Look at Juventus.
In any team, Eriksen is a starter.
Look at Juventus.
Juventus got a bunch of losers compared to what you guys have.
Who do they have on the bench?
What do they have on the bench? They have a bunch of injuries players.
I will say one thing that Juventus has in the bench, and I think that this is a fault of Inter, and what Marotta and Conte and the management have to take fault for is this guy Padelli. How the hell is Padelli your second goalkeeper? The guy's barely capable to play in the Serie A. He's horrible. Look, he's calling you right now.
Yeah. I'll take him on Bay 8.
I think that was the mistake that...
Gonna call you right back. I'm on the podcast. Goodbye.
Yeah, keep going.
I want to hear if anything funny was going to happen.
Go ahead.
You don't break your phone.
I think that was a mistake that they had, because this game, it was a balanced game. I mean, it's not that Lazio played unbelievable. It's not that Inter, if anything, it could have tipped more towards Inter's favor in a sense.
It could have ever been a draw.
What I was saying before with Milan, where if they would have taken a shot in the second half on target, anything on target with Padelli is almost a goal. They had 3 shots, Lazio, and he saved that one on Immobile. The other 2 went in. I mean, you could even see the Inter players. If you watch Lukaku, when the second goal where Milinkovic-Savic he looks so frustrated. He's screaming at Padelli. He makes a gesture at him like, "Are you kidding me?" And you could just see that he looks nervous. He's standing.
Did you see his reaction? How long it took him to dive down when the ball was coming?
That's very bad. That's
Watch the defenders too. Watch the defenders. He had 6 or 7 defenders by
That's true.
He didn't see the ball, and then also Vecino misclears it. So
It was a bad clearance.
On the first goal, he needs to call Skriniar, and on that,
Get that
you know,
ball.
the guy gives one of those balls. He could have said to Skriniar, "I got it."
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to say it very convincingly. Gaetano said,
communication.
the
Yeah,
ball
but
goes
they
over
probably
there.
said it.
But they have to
he
have
could have
faith in it,
gotten
too.
the ball in his hand.
Yeah, that was an easy save.
Without even going down. Easy save.
Easy save.
Without even going down. On the second goal, if you look from the back, from where Padelli is, he's got, on the left side, he's got 5-6 players. If he would have moved one step to the right, the ball would have come to him, because the guy's going to take a shot. Okay, but there is 5 or 6 players on this side. It's very difficult to go through 5-6 players. If you move one step towards the right, to his right, which is where the ball went, he would have been like this. He would have caught the ball with his hand without even diving. Diving.
No.
So he's not reading the game.
When you watch, even Milan have better 3 keepers than even him. I mean, they got Antonio Donnarumma and they got the guy from Chelsea, Begovic. I mean, Milan at least have a guy that's really good, and I think that was one of the faults. But anyway, I want to talk about Lazio. We talked about Inter.
Yeah.
This Lazio, they are players that are willing to die for that shirt. I love the way that Acerbi, especially, man, the guy. There was one point where he threw his body on the line to go stop Lukaku, I think, from scoring.
Towards the end,
And these are a bunch of players that they remind me of Juventus in 2011. Guys that were underrated, that, you know, you didn't think that they were going to be superstars, but they're all bought into this single project. They all believe game after game. They've got a coach in Simone Inzaghi who is proving how important he is to the team. They play with, you know, the same hunger that he has on the sideline.
I think he sweats more than the player. You see what he does?
He definitely
back and forth
does.
on the sideline. It's like these
you like
guys
that?
never stop.
Do you like that?
Yeah. I like that.
So if it's Conte, no.
Yeah, because the guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Conte, all he does is screams.
Okay.
This guy, all he does, he pumps
does he
them
do?
up. He pumps them up.
He's trying to find
He pumps them up.
Just to keep going on Inzaghi, for the people that don't know, Inzaghi was not supposed to even be the coach of this Lazio side. He took over when Pioli was sacked for a couple of months. Then they got Bielsa in. After 1 week, Bielsa said they had a fight, whatever. He left. So they said, okay, let's put Inzaghi in because he was a Primavera coach. And this man is doing just absolute wonders with this team. And he deserves so much credit. And the last guy I wanted to highlight was Milinkovic-Savic. He is a true top player. What he did in that midfield, there's that one play where he pops it over Eriksen and pops it over Barella. In the middle of the field, he's just got a calmness on his game.
Juggling the ball.
And guess
Boom,
what?
boom,
He
boom.
scores in the top games. He scored against Juventus. He scores against Inter. He doesn't go shy when the moment counts. I love him. Him, Acerbi, Inzaghi. This team is bringing out special emotions, and they're truly showing that they could fight for the Scudetto.
Gaetano, I have a question for you. $85 million for Lukaku. How much would you spend if you were a Juventus manager to get Savic on your team? Do you think Lukaku is more expensive than than Savic?
He's $100 million man.
At least 100 million. I would put even 120. If that guy, I'm telling you, somebody.
Even though last year he did not have a good year, he had a good year the year before. Last year did not have a good year. Now he's coming back to the level.
He was injured.
To the level.
He was injured last year.
To the level. But the guy is, I think, is $100 million. I mean, the guy is phenomenal. He could do everything.
Midfield?
He took a shot on the first half. Oh my God!
I thought he was breaking the crossbar. I thought he cracked.
What a shot! That ball went up and then it came down.
Boom.
But Deadly had no clue what was going on.
He was looking at us. I said, please.
Guys, does Lazio have the best midfield in the league?
They
Yeah.
do.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah.
I think they got a better
And
midfield
this
than
guy,
Inter.
Luis Alberto, mamma mia, what a player
And
he is.
Leva too is also.
And he, I'm thinking of Luis Alberto and I'm thinking of Eriksson,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And I'm saying, the skills are there. The guy's got a vision when he gets the ball. But I haven't seen Lazio on a regular basis. So in order to see how far back does he go? But Luis Alberto goes all the way back.
He used to be. He was an attacking midfielder naturally,
Right.
and then they popped him.
Right.
Inzaghi changed his position to be more adapted to the three.
He gets a lot of
back line
balls
that he plays.
right in the center here in the
He's
middle of the field.
a little creator.
And then he gets it, and then he looks up, and then he drives with the
He
ball
reminds me
sometimes
Pirlo a little bit.
20, 30 yards
reminds me
with the
Pirlo.
ball.
He covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, he covers a lot of ground,
It reminds
which
me of Pirlo. Not that it doesn't play in front of the defense, but the ball handling and all the stuff, all the geometry.
Very
the way-
smart player. Very smart
I
player.
just wanted to bring
smart
something up now. They both, Lazio did deserve the win over there. They were hungry in the second half, completely deserved. But now I want to bring up a point that a lot of people were asking: was it a penalty on Immobile that De Vrij had a hand on his back? To be fair, I thought it was a little soft. It looks like he hit and swung, then he had like his hand on the back and fell
okay,
over.
do you know where the penalty started?
Before. It was the penalty already before. Before the ball got
Where was the
Immobile.
penalty? You said he put his hand on top. That was not the penalty.
Where was the penalty?
The penalty was when Immobile went back with his foot. His foot hits the defender,
De Vrij?
De Vrij's leg. So when he goes like this, he misses the ball completely. It was not because the guy
Of the
had
hand.
the hand.
There
on
was a
the-
hand on the back?
No. That had nothing to do with it. He missed the ball completely because when he went back with his foot, he hit his leg.
Yeah.
So is that a penalty? I mean, I go back to kick
So
and
it
the
clipped
guy
him. It got clipped.
kind of that. That's where the penalty was.
Okay.
I
So
think
it
that
was
this
just
is a
what
penalty
we
in 2020 in football. Like we've said this so many times, how light penalties have been. For me, it's not a penalty in my definition of a penalty.
It says in Milan against Juventus, that was a penalty with the guy with his back and all the stuff. That was a penalty.
I mean, the guy's arm is over there. The shot's going to be on target.
Yeah, he
for
couldn't
me,
see the ball.
I understand. I mean, there's been penalties that are so light that are constantly given. I was obviously happy that the penalty was given, but when I saw it, I thought it was going to get overturned. I didn't think it was going to be a penalty. Pete, did you think it was a penalty?
No.
Say no. No. Peter penalty said no penalty. Okay. So I got news for you, Pete. You guys and Lazio are the teams that has been awarded the most.
No.
Lazio has been awarded the
Lazio
most.
Lazio the most.
I think they got like 15.
Not Inter.
What about Inter?
In favor.
Second or third?
I don't remember. They were up there,
Check
but
it out,
I don't
Mike.
remember which one, how high they were. I sent it to you guys. But either way, I think that good credit to Lazio. Again, I can't say it enough. This team, if Lazio would win the Scudetto, I think it would be amazing. I love the way that this team plays. I love that they're all a unit. There's just something about them that I wouldn't even be mad. I would clap my hands and say these guys deserve it.
That'd be amazing for the
It would be
league too
amazing.
if Lazio could
And
win
listen,
100%.
there's one other thing because I was crediting them online and everybody kept commenting to me. It's a disgrace that you're giving Lazio credit, which is a team that goes out to Celtic in Europa League that doesn't represent Serie A in Europe. But you have to understand how, if you look at teams, top teams that compete for the league in every top league, Lazio spends nothing compared to what Inter spent, compared to what Juventus spent. They're not a team that's built to fight on three fronts. To get them to be 1 point away from the Scudetto is a very important thing, and it's not an easy thing. Teams that fight for league titles spend a lot of money most of the time to be able to get there. So I don't think it takes anything away from them. I think Europa League, you have to have a very deep team. Lazio does not have a deep enough team to be able to compete in Europa League. Try to win a Scudetto, try to go into Coppa Italia. So I don't take anything away
Look
from
who's
them.
the mastermind? Ilietare, the Albanian guy.
Yeah,
that
sporting
guy is
director.
amazing. Amazing.
He spots talent.
He spots talent. The guy never misses. Sometimes you can take a chance. The guy seems to not miss one bad player.
Well, the thing is-
he never buys a bad player. And all the players that they sell, because they scout it, he does the vast majority of the time. And if they wind up selling them, they wind up making a lot of money.
I actually have a stat on
Okay.
that Lazio's current team, the whole squad, they paid 120 million for. The entire squad. That's roster, everything. Now it's valued at 500 million because of how good that they're playing. Yeah. So a guy like Milinkovic was signed for 15 million. Now they say he's 100 million. Immobile 9.5 million. They say 80 million. Luis Alberto, this guy that we just compared, how incredible, 4 million for Luis Alberto.
Sevilla, yeah.
Correa 19 million. Strakosha was a free transfer, and Luis Felipe, who in defense has been phenomenal, they paid 800,000.
Wow.
800,000. That is, I mean, to have an eye for some of these guys is pretty incredible.
But Gaetano, wait, a good question for you, because you've been traveling around with some of those best teams like AC Milan, Juventus, Inter, whatever. Don't you think it's the preparatory, the guy that they prepare, the defensive coordinator or the goalkeeper coordinator, some of those guys, those are the people that they bring the best out of those players that they are underrated right now? Like Marco has been talking about players that they were bought for close to nothing. And then we have people that have been playing on the major league that they spend so much money and that they're worth nothing.
How are they worth nothing?
You tell him.
No, it's all about the scout, that you have to recognize talent. And you need to have the right people looking in the right place. If you guys remember a few years ago, Palermo had half of the national team was from Palermo.
Dybala, yeah.
A lot of Cavani, Dybala, Pastore, Barzagli, Sirigu,
Balzaretti.
They all came from Palermo. There was somebody there that had the eye for these guys.
Sabatini.
Who was this guy? Sabatini?
It was Sabatini?
And then I know.
Marinetti, Sabatini was there.
Now Sabatini is Bologna. That's another guy.
And you can see Bologna, he's been doing very well lately.
Wherever he goes, So they have people that they can recognize the talent.
It's good that you credited Tade. That's good.
Oh, he's the...
Side note, Tade just said actually, after the game, he goes, this is something that's been for 2 years now that we started giving bonuses for the winning of the Scudetto.
Oh, really?
For the players, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
listen, they're gonna own this city if they're able to win the Scudetto, they'll be able to.
I just wish that this thing here doesn't have really now shifted the pressure on Lazio to that they're getting close to be first place and that they don't feel the pressure to
Listen, I don't think this team really feels pressure. They beat Juventus twice in a week, and they've beaten Inter. Teams that are worth more, teams that have better players.
Yeah, it's not a fluke. It's their
I don't think that this
They're a
team
good
really
team.
feels pressure. Honestly, I watch them, and you even see. Remember, he subbed on another striker against Juventus to score.
Right.
Even at the end, they're still fighting. And Inzaghi's substitutions of Correa
And
Lazzari were phenomenal. They really Lazzari changed the match.
The game changed a
He
lot.
brings two offensive player in.
They were good. They were very good substitutions. Anyway, Lazio, so much credit. Where are we going to next?
So let's conclude with this Inter. Inter, they just took a loss. They took a loss, and let's see the Conte what is good, how good he is on regrouping the squad that he has, and or blame somebody else.
Who's the next game?
For the loss?
You want to go with
Sampdoria.
Sampdoria
went down poor.
Sampdoria, Fiorentina?
They got slapped by Fiorentina very badly.
You're talking about
My goodness.
Sampdoria and Fiorentina the next 2 games?
No, they play
Sampdoria and then Juventus.
Oh, you're saying the next fixtures. I was talking about the next fixture to
Inter's
talk about.
next 2 games.
So let's talk about Fiorentina and Commisso and
5-1 against Sampdoria. Vlahovic and Chiesa both had 2 goals apiece.
Hey, can you explain to me what's upsetting when he does like this to the stand? What does that mean? Can he hear you?
It just
It's
means
his celebration. It's his
but
thing.
what does that mean? Why people that would get upset
I think it
for
means
something
block
like
out the
this?
haters. Like,
Oh, you kidding me?
But
he said it doesn't.
he apologized.
afterwards he apologized, saying he didn't mean it like that. He just liked the celebration. He said he got it from someone. Now I don't remember
Well,
the name.
Lukaku did it.
But
I don't think he got it from Lukaku.
But what is the message? He says, "Can he hear you?"
I don't
like
know.
saying to the
I'm not
away
sure.
fans, like I guess if you're cheering against them or something, to like silence them almost.
got you.
So
So
something
I'm
similar,
blocking you out.
something similar to that.
It was nice to see Chiesa scoring. I feel like you never really see that guy scoring too much. So
And
for him
smiling.
to be able to,
He's smiling. Lately.
yeah, he looks.
Yeah.
They all look happy. They look like the group
It
is.
must be Yakini diet. So because him and Yakini, I think they get along, right, Mike?
Yeah, I guess. It
your
seems
buddy-
like he's happy over there. He
It's your
gives
buddy
everyone
Castrovilli's
caps.
birthday, by the way, today.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So, but he didn't play last time, did he? Is
Yeah,
he
he
still in?
played.
Yeah, I think-
Did he
I'm pretty
play
sure.
I think he
against
played.
Sampdoria?
I think he did.
Who is that?
Castrovilli.
Castrovilli.
Yeah.
Start?
So he's
Yeah.
okay, right?
Yeah,
He's,
he played.
his office,
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, he's been
good.
back from
All
that.
right.
No, he played.
Sampdoria, they need to figure stuff out.
So Joe, you won today. I mean, you won yesterday against Sampdoria. But let's hope for Saturday that you lose. Not because I want you to lose, because you're playing against AC Milan. You could have been the vice of Commisso as an AC Milan direttore, but now you are a Fiorentina. So only for tomorrow. I mean, only for Saturday, you should lose. Okay,
Great
then you can win
analysis.
the rest of the other 15 games.
But I don't
and
understand.
will
You were
be
trying to
cheering for you.
convince Ludo the other
Yeah.
time that because of his friendship, he shouldn't root for Fiorentina. Now all of a sudden you're
Oh,
doing the
boy.
That's a
opposite.
good point, Peter.
Oh boy.
What do you have to say? Look, he's thinking.
Well, Ludo works for him. That's
He's
what he's
thinking.
saying, right?
It didn't process yet.
No, I
What
didn't
did you say?
process that, Pete. I didn't process that.
The last time
Loaded.
you said if I was Joe Barone, I'd give Ludo the pink slip.
Oh,
Because-
well, listen, Joe understands.
The point was just that you were mad at Ludo, but now you're. doing the
It's
same
all right.
thing.
Listen, for me, I will be very happy if Fiorentina makes it into the UEFA standing.
Okay.
So,
We agree.
maybe take an Inter spot.
And they would have to
Champions
beat
League.
Milan.
No, except for AC Milan, they should be beating everybody else.
All right, your Milan
Next.
won today.
Oh,
we just
God.
watched the game. 1-0 against Torino.
You guys watched the game? I was watching on my little phone, wherever I could, because I was picking up my daughter from the airport. But, I had a lot of positive vibes. Lately,
I mean, you're versing Torino. Torino hasn't won a game in
That's
5 games.
true.
Hey,
5 straight losses.
a lot of those teams that they don't win a game in the last 20 games, when they starting to play against AC Milan, they become, all of a sudden, they become the greatest team in the world.
I mean, they had some chances.
Yeah, they had some chances. We could have scored
Milan had a
another
lot
5
of
goals,
chances.
but
No, Milan.
I know,
Torino
Pete, I'm sorry you were hoping for a tie or for a loss, but it didn't happen.
Torino
Guess-
has a new coach too, and they're
Yeah.
not performing.
So, Michael, did we deserve the win?
Yeah,
Yes or
Milan.
no?
Milan
Thank you,
should have
Mike.
scored 3 goals.
Okay.
was
You
a
see,
snooze fest,
even
though.
Mike.
It wasn't that good of a
Even
game.
Mike,
What do
the
you mean? I'm a
biggest AC
Milan
Milan.
fan.
Yeah, okay.
Why are you being sarcastic?
So,
How did Ibra do?
He missed
he
the
missed
chance
an
right
open
in front of
netter.
the
Oh, my
net.
God.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
should've
know why he
scored.
went with the right foot. He could have went with the left to curl.
that's all right.
Well, they won at the end.
Still a smart player.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
There's a
still
couple-
positive that he's in the starting lineup, 100%.
They had one where he was offside, but he dribbled the defender of Torino, and then Milan ended up scoring from that, but they called it offsides because he was a little bit off.
Kyer went out. The guy Gabbia. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Who's this guy Gabbia?
Gabbia,
Gabbia, it's a
the
defender.
the
It's a
center
defender.
back,
Yeah.
From where?
From the youths.
Youths.
The youths. Okay? So you see what we do? We bring the youths into the team. It's not like you guys, hey, I want that guy. No, Messi. No, they're talking about Messi, you know? They're talking about Messi. They want Messi too.
Where are you reading this from?
They want him. I heard that on what do you call it? The Domenica Sportiva. That is a rumor that Messi has been, in.
Conte's gonna play him as a left wing back.
Oh, yeah?
He gets him. He's like Messi. Make sure you drop back to midfield.
Oh, maybe he's gonna sit him on the bench because Messi's gonna have to learn how to play on the Inter system. On the Inter system, he's gonna have to learn. You know the way those guys are. They try to teach how to play soccer to everybody.
Next game that we'll go to, Juventus 2-0 against Brescia.
And that was boring.
Dybala
man.
scored a beautiful free kick with Ronaldo. Ronaldo was not called out for the match. It was a fine game. I mean, they left it late, 1-0 until really late under the match. Obviously Sarri's been super criticized lately. Some Juventus fans wanting him out after that loss to Hellas Verona. So obviously it was important, but Brescia did nothing Balotelli didn't even realize he was playing. Tonali wasn't even there. And then on top of that, their goalkeeper was injured. And then their backup goalkeeper got injured during the match.
Aye.
So they were playing with their third goalkeeper.
And then 10 people too.
That guy, he looked better than Padelli though at one point.
Oh,
But they were-
anybody's better than Padelli.
they were
Even
pretty
Mike.
close.
Even Mike is better than Padelli.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no,
I'm
Mike-
not too sure.
He made a few good saves.
That's not that good.
Mike-
But the biggest storyline for me was Chiellini returning to the team in the last 15 minutes. Sarri said even after the match that he said, I didn't even tell Chiellini to come in. He's like, he subbed himself in. He's like, I looked to my right and I see Chiellini warming up. He's like, I didn't tell him anything. And he goes, Mister, when am I going in? When are we starting? So he said, because Chiellini, he really wanted to. They didn't want to risk him, but Chiellini said that he really wanted to play. And I think that was the biggest moment because you finally have a guy that brings some heart to the team. Even though it was late in the match, to see Chiellini back, I thought was a really important moment. And for Chiellini, the thing I love about this guy, he is the least dramatic player that you ever see. You never see him doing fancy stuff outside. He doesn't. In today in football, these guys care about so many other things besides the ball. And you could tell that Chiellini is just one guy that he only cares about playing and playing hard. And he gives us 100%. There's no drama about renewals. There's no drama about this and that. So it was nice to see him get back after ACL tear, which happened in the first game of the season. Wow. So even at 35, the guy, I think 4 or 5 months to get back from an ACL.
How many years do you think Chiellini's got left?
I don't know.
One more year, next year,
A
and
couple
then
more
that's
years,
it.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe 1, maybe 2.
I think 2.
one.
I think
Depending
it's
on how
squeezed
he
through.
recovers
Yeah,
from
let's
the
see how he
injury.
does from this.
But to me, there was nothing really to talk about in this game.
No,
Was there anything for anybody?
They had 3 or 4 good players out, so. Brescia.
Juventus still is not convincing. Is not the team that you expect. It's not the way they're playing. They're not playing top. And if they keep playing like that in Champions League, I'm worried that they're not going to go too far. So they better shape up and change because they're not convincing. The way they're playing, it's not convincing. And Sarri is not convincing. And I don't know if they have a problem in the locker room. I don't know if the players are not listening to Sarri. You know, maybe at this level with all the superstars, they're not following what he's saying. But the team is not playing good.
They don't look bought into the idea. No. I agree with that.
You know what? Last night it was so funny. I was watching on and off because I was by myself. I was a bachelor last night. So my wife was in Boston. My daughter was in Denver. So I was watching, switching between the American, me and my dog. Yeah. You know, so I was switching between the American TV and the Calcio and the Italian TV. So I caught up Del Piero because somebody must have asked Del Piero, what do you think about Guardiola going to Juventus? You know what? The rumors, they have reasons to start. Del Piero was very positive about it. I said, I think it's a very good possibility because of Manchester City being forced with the financial fair play to drop the Champions League for the next 2 years, even though they might be appealing the decision. But bottom line is that this guy Sarri, he has not done his job. And for some reasons, he finds himself still on the first place for the grace of God. Because, Inter is not a team that there is no quality, that they can just buy everything that they want. But, look at the coach. Just scrappy coach. So Lazio is the only one that Juventus should be warning, because Inter at some point, that little picture that they show you that Inter is one of the few things that last until Christmas, like the panettone,
it's
the Christmas tree. Yeah. So that's what is going to happen.
Did Klopp say that Juventus should be 10 points ahead with this type of game?
Yeah, he said, I don't really watch Serie A, but I can't believe Juve aren't 10 points in first.
But first, Man City. Man City banned for 2 years from Champions League. Actually, wait, should I hit Klopp's comment first or that? Because people want us to talk about
do Klopp, then we'll finish it off.
We'll finish that. He said Juve were favorites for the Champions League before the season even started. I don't watch Serie A enough because I don't know why they aren't 10 points ahead in first place. They have the biggest squad I've ever seen in my life. Quality players, too. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's a pretty exaggerated comment.
On the paper, technically, you guys and Juventus, you have nothing but the best player. Those are all national team players. Everywhere you bring them, you can plug them in a national team.
But listen, I think that it's also really not fair for him to say that because it took him a long time to be able to build his Liverpool. It's not that he's judging Sarri's team in 6 months. I like to see him take the midfield that Juventus have and see what happens in Liverpool.
As a coach, you shouldn't.
I love Klopp. I love Klopp a lot.
But they have won 8 championships in a row, and some of the championships were 10 points ahead. So, if after 8 championships, if you want to talk, first win 8 championships, and then you talk.
Ooh. But the thing is, it took him.
And
4
that's
years.
to you, Klopp.
Oh! You got that?
I'm a fan of Klopp, but I think that his comment, I think that he just doesn't know Serie A well enough. Like he said, I don't watch it enough. But that's clearly why.
So you don't watch, so shut up.
Klopp. Also, favorites. Sorry.
I was gonna say Klopp's also Laziale. He's rooting for Lazio to win. He said,
how do you know that, Mike?
He said, sorry, Conte, and sorry, Sarri. I was like, but it would be nice if Lazio could win.
Oh, me too. Anybody.
And Lucas Leiva was also at Liverpool, and Immobile, he coached him at Dortmund. So that's another.
I just don't think it's really a fair comment.
Yeah, no,
coming
it's not,
from him,
100%.
I don't think it's a fair
I was
comment.
surprised he'd say
He's
that.
a great coach right now.
You should take him seriously because
it took him a long time.
This guy, with the comment that he made, you have to read in between the line. Don't look at what, literally what the words they meant. I think the guy is meaning that Sarri is not doing his job.
Yeah, but
it's not up to the job.
But how long did it take for Klopp to be able to do his job?
But that's nothing to do with that.
Yes, it does.
Klopp didn't have the player that Juventus has on the squad.
And to say Juventus are favorites for Champions League when Liverpool, look how well that they've been doing. It's almost like putting the blame on somebody else. Oh, we're not favorites. We only won last year. We only have no league to play for. Their whole focus is on Champions League. They got to be favorites.
Juventus is being given to Sarri as a winning team. You got everything. They win every time. So you've been given this team. I know you're still first place, but on the paper and on the field, I don't see the Juventus that even that scrappy Allegri put it on the field. We criticize Allegri so much because, the guy was about to win. It was just bam, 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 bam. Even at the point that I had to make some catenaccio, situation from time to time. But this guy here, Del Gioco di Sarri, I don't see it. I cannot really buy into this quote that the people have about this guy, Sarri's game. Or Juventus is not playing Sarri's game. What's Sarri's game? What is it? What is it?
Well, going back to Klopp, I mean, it's harsh to say, or, Juventus should be 10 points up. If you see the league this year, Serie A, every team is going to give you a battle. There's no real walkover for another team. And look, I mean, I don't know how many losses Juventus had, but it's very little. How many losses?
Three, I think.
3 losses. How many ties? It's more of a, congratulations to Inter and Lazio that are able to keep pace with them because,
You should watch a little more.
Besides Liverpool, everywhere else in England, if you look from 2 down to 20, they're losing maybe 4 or 5 games, and you see the competitive nature.
Yeah,
Klopp should have time to watch Serie A if he's like 30 points above. I mean, watch a little bit, get another hobby.
So let's talk about Man City. 2-year ban from the Champions League for fraudulent how they accounted for sponsorship revenue, and I think from 2012 to 2016 is where their infringement was. What's really funny is that if you guys remember in the summer, Monblano, who kept saying Guardiola to Juventus, kept saying they're waiting for this sentencing from UEFA.
A sanction, right?
He's about 7 months late, but the sanction finally came, and I know that they want to appeal. But they were saying that UEFA wants to make a symbol. What do you call it?
Statement.
A statement.
A statement.
So that nobody else.
An example.
They want to make an example of them, so that no other team could get this.
PSG's
overturned.
next. Watch out.
One thing to say, because I saw in the comments. Yeah, but look at Milan. What Milan did. What Milan did is very different from what Manchester City did. Yeah. What Milan did was not fraud. Milan, they bought too many players that they didn't sell. That was fine. They made a deal with UEFA. What Man City did is they said that they were getting money that it wasn't really there. Yeah. So it's fraud.
They lied,
It's not that they could just appeal it and get it, work out a deal. There was levels. Man City's is much worse than what happened with Milan.
That was cheating. There was one cheating and one was like they couldn't balance the books correctly.
Exactly.
So it's 2 different things.
I actually like that UEFA
put their
some
foot
kind
down.
of statement because
100%.
if you got these rules and then you're making these workarounds, listen, you got to suffer the consequences.
100%.
This is what happens.
How many years is Guardiola right now still signed for with Manchester City? Is that the last year?
He's got 2 years.
2 years. So what makes you think that he might not just leave to the end of the contract?
No, he could. I mean, he said he will.
But he's not going to play in Champions League.
No Champions League for 2 years. And a lot of their players,
now,
I'm sure.
This is a question for
Peter.
Uh-oh. But this players that signed for Man City, and they signed because they want to play in the Champions League. Can they now leave and say, listen, now I'm not going to get the bonus anymore. I'm not going to make the money. And I want to leave.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you deal with a contract, if there's a certain stipulation or things in the contract that say there's a bonus for Champions League and presence and stuff like that, and because of wrongdoing on behalf of Manchester City, the players do have a case where they can say, listen, it wasn't our fault because we made the Champions League. Mm-hmm. We want to make that money. The contract could be voided. And they could leave for free. Now, as far as how the sports world is going to handle it and how they interpret it is a whole nother story. But if the contract states otherwise, I mean, there's a case because the players are going to lose out on money on bonuses.
Gaetano, if you were to take 1 or 2 players from Manchester City and plug it into Juventus, what would you take?
I want to take Guardiola. That's what I want to take.
Okay, but the player, I'm talking about player. We know Guardiola. We already spoke
Guardiola,
about that.
2 years. I think 2 years is a lot to be out of the Champions League. If they reduce it to 1 year, maybe
it's like 17 million.
Maybe 1 year he would stay for 1 year. About 2 years, I think he would go.
Especially like the aging players too. I feel like if you're like in your 30s too, they're like, I want to do one last push. I don't want to, lose 2 years of now possible winning a Champions League.
I feel like Guardiola was done already.
They got some speed up front. Probably
De Bruyne is the guy.
Could
De
use
Bruyne.
Sterling.
Could
De
use
Bruyne is the player.
Yeah, Sterling's very good.
Sterling.
He's a great winger.
De Bruyne.
Aguero.
Nah,
No, I think
Aguero's not going to leave.
Aguero's gonna stay. He's been
He's
like
in
he's like
Man City.
he's like a club
He's-
legend.
Yeah, I think he is their
He is, yeah, I
most
think he's gonna
historic player.
stay.
I think he's one that would stay, but I think a guy like De Bruyne, who's one of the best midfielders
He's
in
younger
the
too,
world,
right?
who
25,
I think every
26?
team is going to be dying to get a player like that.
Before you're gonna get it, I think Barcelona, Real Madrid might.
Yeah, no,
He's
I know.
28.
I'm just saying that he's one of my favorite players. Just watching, but either way, I was very surprised that Del Piero said that too, because usually Del Piero he wouldn't take a stance.
He's neutral, right?
He's very
Listen,
neutral.
I
but
think Del Piero knows more than we know. So I think the rumors are already.
hope so.
The phone calls already. They're starting to
But
fly.
you know what it is? It's also common sense in the way that unless Guardiola says, okay, I want to stay with Man City, I'm going to go through it even with this Champions League ban. His next stop is Italy. I'm sorry, because was in Spain, he was in Germany, he was in England. If you see all the top coaches, that's what they do. They do their travel around Europe and they want to win everywhere. So Guardiola, being that he played in Italy, he appreciates the Italian style. His next stop is Italy,
He played in
whether
Brescia,
it's
didn't
Juventus
he?
or
He
not.
also said he'll coach Brescia for free, so if he doesn't go to Juve, maybe it's not like there.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
never
why
know.
don't you guys give content to Juventus since it is a row? We should have taken content, and then you
Would
take
you-
Guardiola.
wait,
They
that's
didn't want
actually a
him.
good question.
They didn't
Yeah.
want him.
Peter, if you could sack Conte right now to get Guardiola, would you do it?
Say it. Don't be afraid. I will sack him in a heartbeat.
What would you do?
Yeah, I know you would.
That'd be interesting.
No.
Say
Don't
it.
give me. Yeah, this,
No,
this is
yeah,
not,
listen, it's either black or white. You have the or black. Blue and black, like a black and blue. Tell me, would you sack him? Yes or not for Guardiola?
Oh my
I want to know.
That's messed up, Pete.
I'll
Don't
give you
even
3
think about
seconds.
it.
1, 2, 3.
No.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
that
loyalty
means-
right
that
there,
means-
right?
That means-
What's that mean?
Because I
He's
support.
brain dead.
I guarantee you.
He's a pitching brain. Brain of a pitching. Brain of a pitching.
I'm messing around. I keep
I would
Conte too.
love to give that same question to Conte. In the summer when he was about to
Conte.
sign his contract with
I
Inter,
will
I say,
suck him
listen, you
up
could
in a
coach
little- in 1
Juventus 3,
second.
2, 1. He wouldn't even let you count to the first one.
No way. I'll tell Conte, I say, listen, I'll pack your bag and I'll take your bag too. I will walk you to the airport. That's it.
Would you sack Pioli for Guardiola?
Absolutely.
So you like
I
the
like
way
how you told you were
Guardiola
serious.
plays,
That's a
right?
funny thing.
Yes.
So you like the way Guardiola goes out and picks all the best players from
No, he
everywhere
doesn't.
else.
He doesn't. You guys do. You guys do.
If
Where
Juventus
do you
get
see that?
Guardiola,
It's
they're
not
going to
true.
really need to
What do you mean
be
it's
able
not
to
true?
buy
They're
players.
gonna ask 500 million shopping
Anyway,
spree. Those guys
let's continue. Atalanta beat Roma 2-1
from 1-0 down.
from 1-0 down. Pasalic scored 19 seconds in his first touch into the
Getting
match
subbed
for
in.
Atalanta. Great hype for Atalanta, especially with Champions League coming up, picking up important points. But Roma, Mike, how many games is it?
That
Did I mess you up? You were about to say something else.
I was gonna say something else.
I think
but
it's
I'll
5
check on
games.
that.
5 games without a win.
Oh, 5 games without a win in all competitions. So Roma right now, I don't know what it's been. Fonseca's been doing good in the beginning.
on Thursday, right, Mike?
It was-
Thursday they played the UEFA.
It was
Who are they
Juventus.
playing? I forgot.
Those games were Juventus, Lazio, Sassuolo, Bologna, and Atalanta. So not easy games, but
Gent, something like that.
Gent.
They're-
a Belgian
they're-
club.
there are people out there that are very mad with Fonseca. There are Roma fans who
What
are
do they
saying
want from Fonseca? Why?
more.
What do they want?
Another
not
thing
happy.
is Zaniolo, one of their most creative players,
Yeah.
has an ACL injury, which is the past few games. Obviously, it's taken an effect.
What do you think?
So
No, I think it's a mental problem now. You know, it got into their heads. They can't win a game, no matter how they play. You know, it seems like they can get through. Roma, I only see Dzeko that is the only guy that can score there. You know, and he's up there. He's fighting. He's trying to. To do everything by himself,
much.
dribble,
He's
shoot.
secluded.
Too much, yeah.
But it's a little bit
He
too.
needs help. He needs help.
Yeah, he needs help. He needs somebody to help him out. I think he's by himself. Who else can score in that team? I mean,
Clive or Under, they're not scorers.
yeah, they play one game good and then they disappear. Pellegrini is a nice player, I think. They have a few other players, but
Cristante's there too. Cristante also is over there, but I'm just saying,
Cristante-
as a goal scorer,
Cristante is supposed to
Dzeko's
be
the
a nice,
biggest-
midfielder.
He's a defensive midfielder, though. You can't expect
Yeah.
him to score
Yeah,
goals.
exactly.
But up front, they need help.
Pete, what'd you think?
No, I think too inconsistent as a whole. Right, the start of the season they looked good.
Very
Fonseca
good.
looked good,
Smalling
and now
partnership with Mancini.
with some injuries. Yes, they've had injuries, but so does every other team. Gaetano said it best. Kluivert under. One game they're there, one game they're not. Too much fancy stuff. I hate that. Perotti on one side. Perotti does the same move over and over again. No one, you're leaving Dzeko. He's isolated up top. The guy is amazing. Maybe if they change formation, who knows? But, it's not usual for a coach to change the formation. But more importantly, I think what burns the Roma team and Roma fans more is that Lazio is competing for the Scudetto, and Roma seems to be still in this middle ground where they've been like this even last year. They're an average team at best. Yes, where they are for the team that they have and who's on the team right now without a Zaniolo, without any other guy that can score. It's painful to say it, but that's where they are right now. And listen, you're versing Atalanta. Atalanta is a top team that's given everybody trouble. They're in Champions League. What's interesting is they actually won the game before the Champions League. Usually, a lot of the teams they'll slip up because they're concentrated and thing, and they were able to come back and win that game. So
I just wanted to add also Atalanta right now. Before this game started, Atalanta were 3 points above Roma in 4th place. Now with the win, they're 6 points clear in 4th place, and they're really making a statement over here. Dzeko scored because Palomino made a big mistake. But Palomino, he made up for it. He scored a goal. He made a few key interceptions that Marco said with the Pasalic goal. So Atalanta are looking good. We're hoping the best. We'll talk about Champions League a little later, but they have Valencia coming up.
I have a question for you guys.
Since you're talking about Atalanta, so you asking me if I would be sucking Pioli for either Guardiola or
I had a good question.
I will sucking Pioli in a heartbeat, and I'll take Gasperini. He's the better. Even
Gasperini or Guardiola?
I will take Gasperini.
Real quick question
by far.
Gaetano's like, I gotta stop
I
hanging
need to
out
know
with
what's in your mind.
Let him laugh.
I read what you said in your face, but I didn't hear the words.
Wait, one more thing.
No.
You gotta bleep it out what he said in his head.
When he said Gasperini, he doesn't know what he wants.
He
would take. I think he would take Gattuso right now.
Yeah.
If you ask him, would you take Gattuso?
Gattuso's actually doing
You would take Gattuso.
We battle anything that falls at the bottom.
We'll take
You
know what Gasperini's response was?
Well, you got Guardiola, Gasperini, Gattuso.
Easy,
You want
all the G's.
All the G's.
Easy. Let me just say one more thing. You guys forgot to mention this is a very important notion over here. This guy here, Sarri, all of a sudden is sitting Ronaldo and he's sitting. He's resting them. So he's thinking about the champions right now because if he figures,
there's still another
we're going to be
week.
playing Brescia, so let me just give a little break to those, to those big horses, and maybe.
Wait, hold on 1 second. We just got completely off track. We got so off track.
This guy here, and it's not off track. We're talking about coaches. This guy
we were talking about
he's learning how to become a coach to just bring everybody into the pitch.
Okay. One last question because I have actually a really good question.
Ronaldo
but now
horse.
I got sucked into this.
You got sucked in. Okay.
Gattuso, Gasperini, or Guardiola? Who do you choose?
Gasperini.
Okay.
You know what Gasperini said? Just a side note.
Notes from your doctor to make sure you're mentally
you know what Gasperini said?
Yeah.
I don't leave Atalanta unless it's for the Scudetto race. So I don't think Milan's going to...
you mean he go to Inter? 3 weeks you're going to suck him out.
Meaning he's going to stay with Atalanta.
You guys are the best of sucking up the best players. So you just let them go.
Okay, my question. This Roma problem. It could be one of 3 things that I identify. I want to know what you guys think. Number 1, is it the players? Number 2, is it Fonseca? Or number 3, is it the instability around the club being sold? Or what do you guys think?
A mixture of everything, man. It's not just
Okay,
one.
but if you have to say what's the most prominent problem? Pete.
I say the instability of the club because in the end, it stems from the top. The top is the one that are able to get the players. They're the ones that are going to be able to give a sense of tranquility. And there has, with Roma up for sale, they had a buyer, they don't have a buyer. There's a lot of question marks with this club, and there's an animosity from the fans when they watch the Roma game. And trust me, the players, they feel it. They're surrounded by these fans consistently. And when they get on the field, when they don't do their game, their style of game, it just becomes more critical from the fans' point of view. So I say it's from the top.
Dad, what do you think?
I think that Fonseca started good. They were playing good soccer. They were winning. And then when Zaniolo got hurt, I think everything turned for the worse. And they just mentally, they're not able to come out of it, and they can't win a game.
I want to add to that. Gaetano, I agree with you a lot. I also want to add, they were doing so good. They got a new coach, new philosophy, no speed bumps in the beginning. Smalling was incredible. Mancini partnership, weren't conceding, the best defense in Italy. How then they get one speed bump, Zaniolo out, one of their top performers, and they didn't know how to handle that. And from there, it just became more of a rut. And Fonseca being on the hot seat, being new to the league, is where it was like, what do you call it? In the beginning, you get that extra
honeymoon phase.
Sort of like the honeymoon phase dimmer down. And then that's like,
reality
okay, how do we get out of this now? And that's where they're at the past 5 games, and now they're looking to get back up there and fight for a Champions League spot.
Napoli had an amazing week. They had a phenomenal week.
They did.
They beat Inter 1-0 in the Coppa Italia, and they beat Cagliari with Dries Mertens scoring the goal. He's 1 goal away, by the way, from Hamsik's all-time record at Napoli.
Tying it. Yeah.
Hamsik's at 121, and Mertens is at 120 goals. So for Gattuso, I mean, I don't think a lot of Napoli fans are happy by the way that they're playing or by some of the choices that Gattuso's made in the starting lineups. But the game against Inter, at least in the Coppa Italia, I mean, he got criticized by Conte, who said he'd defend. I mean, not criticized by Conte. It seemed like an ironic comment.
He's a little sarcastic.
Where Conte
right?
said, Gattuso did a good job by defending with 10 men.
Behind the ball.
Behind the ball.
Yeah.
Wow. But doesn't he do that?
He does do that.
Wow.
He does exactly that.
You know,
I mean, like Marco was saying, Gattuso right now, they're doing good, even though there's a lot of uncertainties.
Starting to pick up a little bit.
Especially because Koulibaly and Manolas, whenever they play, they don't play with each other.
They don't get along, those guys.
For either injury or not being on form, but regardless, I think they won 4 out of their past 5 games in all competitions, so it's amazing. They beat Inter in Coppa Italia, and things are looking bright for them. Gattuso finally, he can take a breather right now. There's so much pressure on him once he came about him not being a good coach, but now I'm happy for Torino, and Napoli doing good.
Yeah, I think if you compare, Roma and Napoli, the opposite is happening.
Right? The table's turned.
The table is turned, and now Napoli, and now Napoli is winning, and mentally they're feeling better. And listen, the best medicine is a win.
yeah.
That's
And
true.
if you can get a win,
Nothing
that
else
solves a
matters.
lot of problems.
I got a good question for you. Now that it's,
Please be on topic.
I was like, oh,
No,
God, I don't
no,
want to
no.
hear that. I don't want to hear this
wait,
guy.
I remember him. He was speaking on me once because we were talking about Donnarumma, Meret. What happened with
okay.
Meret?
It's on topic.
Napoli's been winning because Meret is not there.
I wanna
That
say
bad
that,
finger
that's
over there. It was a major problem for Napoli.
Ospina
No,
right
this
now-
guy's
He went
supposed to
through
be
an
the best
injury.
goalkeeper
He went
of
through an
the
injury.
Italian national team. Meret.
Spina made a couple of.
Yeah,
one
but where
big
is
area.
who's,
But after that, he's been
who's the
pretty good.
goalkeeper of Napoli now?
Right now-
I don't see Meret on the goalkeeper.
He was injured.
Am I
Didn't
watching
he
a
break his
different,
hand?
a different station or
He
what?
had a wrist injury, but he
Fractured
right now
his wrist.
he is
Who?
healthy.
He fractured his wrist not that long
But
ago.
listen, why do you take out Ospina since he's playing good? Ospina had one mistake,
Listen,
and after
Meret
that,
is
he's
not
been
the
playing
problem at
amazing.
Napoli.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what you're
definitely not the
alluding to.
problem.
Yeah.
So why it should be the starter? Meret should be the starter. Meret should be starting on the
Why? If
goalkeeping. Am I right or
playing
wrong?
good, if
No.
Ospina's
When he's
playing
fully
good, why
healthy-
would
He
he-
was out. Ospina's been doing a good job. You're gonna keep with that.
Exactly. Why
with
would you
that
change
goalkeeper.
something that's working? There's nothing, and there's no ifs or buts about that. You shouldn't. You're trying to mess with Napoli now.
No,
It's
if-
not. That's
What
not
he's
the
trying to
case.
say is if you have your number 1 goalie, for example, Andanovic is
Right.
is Inter's number 1 goalie, and Padelli is in. Even if Padelli is having a great season,
You
if
have
he
to
comes
sit-
in,
you have to sit him down.
once Andanovic is ready,
It's not that
Andanovic
much of
what
a
I'm saying.
difference. There's
I know.
not. It's not A and B. It's very.
No, but I'm trying to give
closer.
his
Even
And
explanation.
Ospina's experience. Very.
What are you gonna say?
Even Peter, that we never agree on. 99% of the things. He really understood what I was trying
Yeah,
to
but
say.
I know, but I'm telling you, it's not that much of a difference with Padelli and Handanovic. Between Ospina and Meret,
But did
Meret's
anyone-
very talented, but Ospina has that upper experience.
Did
and
anyone
safer
here?
hands.
You said everyone here said Meret was better. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody
Yes, you
said.
did. Yes, you did.
I think we said that they were close, but I think
No.
we all chose Donnarumma as a starter.
Only
Ludovico did. Ludovico.
Only Lou. He
Ludovico
categorizes
did.
everything. If someone he brings out you guys.
Ludo, where is Meret? Ludo. Hey, where is Meret? I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna drive to Long Island tonight with him. I'm gonna remind him. I'm gonna let him Maybe knows more about Meretta. We don't know.
Let us know.
Also
what
about
he says.
Napoli too. We're talking a little bit about them. Gattuso actually dropped Alan because he wasn't trying. What was the exact thing?
He wasn't training up to his standards, up to Gattuso's standards.
So that goes to show Alan, one of their better players. Gattuso putting his foot down, saying, "Listen, if you don't play, I don't care who you are, you're not going to be in the lineup." And that's why, that's if you don't train to my standard. And that's why Deme, that actually came recently, he's been in the starting lineup. He's actually been pretty impressive.
He did pretty yes, he did.
So that's another thing for Gattuso. He has the team, the locker room together, and that's what matters. They're on a good stretch right now.
That's Gattuso's forte. Gattuso's forte is being able to get the locker room on his side, get these guys pumped and ready to go every game in, game out. As far as the tactician, still to be seen.
He's growing.
We had a.
Hey, wait! Before you go there,
shit!
Yeah,
you almost gave me a heart attack.
Listen to me. I saw Paquetá today playing for the first time. The guy was possessed.
Man, 1 week I love Paquetá. 1 week
No,
I
what
don't.
I'm saying, running all over the ball. Something must have been told to
You
the
wanted
kid.
to sell him last
They
week.
probably
Padre
told him.
Pioli.
Maybe he watched the
No,
podcast.
they probably told him. I said, hey, listen, this is AC Milan, okay? It's either you just spill the blood on the field and you show what you have, and you leave every single little cell of your body into the field, or you are done. So the guy was all over the places. He must have done 6 or 7 steals, and he did so much on the field. He meant volume. I saw a lot of volume, not a lot of great
His hair or
Huh?
his hair?
No, I don't know. Well, that's a nice laugh.
He's
Mike.
making fun of Paquetá.
I think I know what it was.
There's a lot of volume, and I was very happy.
I can only think of what you're saying.
You know why I'm happy?
Why
I'm going to
not?
let you know why I'm happy, because we're not going to have a couple players to play the second leg against Juventus. Maybe this guy might pay some dividend for us. Maybe we'll go to overtime and penalty kick, and we'll take the chance of a Buffon against Donnarumma. Please, Lord.
I think, or alternatively,
Buffon was the best player.
Yeah, when he sleeps.
Alternatively, it could be that, or he could have seen the speech that you gave to the Viareggio team, and he got so motivated by that. Because all the comments were saying that they need Antonio as a
motivator,
as the coach
as
of
a
AC
coach.
Milan.
Oh boy!
Did you see Antonio's speech to the Viareggio team?
No.
He's like, no, and I don't care. What he said is like, don't bring it up.
We're going to be one of the sponsors for the team that's going to Viareggio to the tournament. So we went by and we showed them the shirts and stuff. So Antonio stopped practice in the middle to give a pep talk. And his pep talk consisted more or less of,
Screaming.
if you go there and you don't give your all, when you come back, I'm going to kick your ass. Those were his exact words.
I think they're scared now more than motivated, but same thing.
Listen, at that age, you're supposed to go over there with a winning mentality, because you can only be 18 once. If you're not performing at the highest level in terms of a physical game, in terms of knowledge, in terms of just you don't want to be scared. If you go into the field just starting to be scared just because somebody's taller than you. Or somebody, not to say that you're small.
What are you trying to say?
Are you saying that he's big?
Well, in general, Mike happened to be the smallest kid right now. But size
I'm taller
doesn't
than Peter,
matter.
no?
Okay, you're taller than no. But
I think so.
Okay.
When we sit
If
down,
I'm on a ladder.
I said there is no fear in soccer. In
I
soccer,
was like, I don't think he's taller.
actually, in soccer, some of the smallest players they want up performing at the highest level in the world. Maradona is one of them. Del Piero is not one of
Don't
the
say
biggest
Cassano,
tall guy. Cassano is not small. It's not small. It's not big.
Messi, yeah.
Messi. There you go.
So we gotta show them.
Jovinko.
We gotta show them.
Giaccherini.
You're putting Jovinko on that thing.
Yeah.
We gotta show them videos of Cassano to the Viareggio team and tell them do the complete opposite, and maybe you'll get out of your group or something.
Yeah, that's supposed to be laughing. How can we laugh, Mike?
I just messed it out. Cassano's a living legend.
Watch your wrist.
No, this is my wrist. That's why I wanted to hit him with this.
That's your wrist also. Okay, next game, Marco.
Okay, so what I was about to say, before you scream Paquetá,
Give me a heart attack.
Give everybody a heart attack.
Paquetá, I like that.
This week, Serie A said that they were open to the idea of a new help for the VAR system, for the VAR system, which would be on-field challenges, which basically is something that I think everybody at this table except Antonio was calling for a while, that it could be in like the Americans.
He's gonna throw a chair at you right now.
It was
You're
a joke.
so mad.
It was a joke. I'm sorry. Where a challenge would mean that the officials or the coach of each team could demand VAR to be used at their discretion.
Yeah,
And
challenge a call.
there would obviously be a certain number, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, whatever it is. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's great.
American
go first.
football,
You can go
that's
first.
American football. They throw a flag, they challenge the play. You have up to 2 challenge, I think, for each half, right? And then
It only helps. You just check.
What- what's going to help? On the penalty that Fiorentina claimed about, the referee did go and watch it. He went to watch it and he said it was a penalty.
No, I don't think he went to watch that.
Yes, he did.
He heard it. There was a
No,
silent
no.
check on that one. I'm almost positive.
No.
I don't think he ran
Which
through
one
the
are you
screen on
talking
that
about?
one.
The
You're
one-
saying the Mertens one,
No,
right?
are you
No,
saying now?
I'm
Or
talking
you're
about
saying
Fiorentina.
I thought you meant in the beginning of the
Juventus,
season.
Fiorentina,
one.
Juventus, no?
Where Mertens
no.
dove.
This
I
is
thought
why
you meant
I'm
that.
talking about
Communication is
Fiorentina
key.
Juventus when Betancourt went inside.
Oh, that
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Petzella?
No, not Petzella.
The guy that we filmed with.
Ceccherini.
Ceccherini, he went like this. He went to look at it. Now, a lot of the professional players said it was not a penalty. But he went to look at it and he said it was a penalty. So what would he change there?
So are you not in favor of the...
So, no, I'm saying he wouldn't change anything.
I think when
the
there's
challenge
some
would be
cases
to
where
go
they
to
haven't
check.
gone to check.
Yeah.
Both the penalties from Fiorentina yesterday, they went to check and they said it was penalty. So then there was another one with the one with the Juventus where Ronaldo...
With Calabria.
Yeah, Ronaldo
kicked.
with the bicycle kick. He did go see it.
And who did?
What do you mean, the VAR?
The ref.
The VAR.
The VAR, they would go see it.
And who makes the
And
decision?
some,
hold on one second. We're
some of
getting away
them
from the
said
point.
there was not a penalty, and some of them was a penalty. So I don't think it's
confusing, man.
I don't think
no,
it's
it-
the
it-
point that you don't. If the problem is if you don't go see it, the VAR,
That's where they challenge.
then
That's what you're saying. Your
Yeah.
challenge is that you demand the referee to
to
go
go
watch.
check. Yeah.
Instead
Even
of
if
the
okay.
it's a
But
silent
in
check,
all
they
those,
challenge.
in all the ones that I've just told you, he went to see it.
but what about the ones that they haven't gone to
and
check?
they have,
Exactly.
and they didn't
That's what
change,
Marco
and
was
nothing
saying.
changed.
I think it's ones that maybe the coach saw something that the VAR maybe just did a silent check.
All right.
And they want the
If
referee
you
to
go
look.
back to the first game against Napoli, against Fiorentina, Mertens, that he drew himself, they never went to check it. But
So
I
that
think
would
That
solve
could have
that.
been one.
right.
Exactly.
But I think that now, lately, they go check, and they still say it's a penalty.
Yes or no? That's like 50.
Well, in all this 3, 4, 5, the last 5 penalty, they all went to check it, and some of them said it was not a penalty, and some said it was
So
a
you're saying the
penalty.
bigger problem is more so that than just
Yes.
having a challenge.
But regardless,
Yes.
it still
Okay.
helps. It's still in the right direction, I think. This
But listen,
challenging
Mike.
calls.
But
wait.
Gaetano, listen.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, excuse me, Marco. On football, when the referees puts
It's
the
two,
microphone on,
two different.
why not? It's
two
the same
different
thing.
games.
They said
no.
the rules on the field stand or the rule on the field does not stand. So that's you know what that means? That the referees, they're not making the decision. It's the people on top of there making the decision, not the people with the stripes. They're not making any decision. It's the people on the room. In this particular case, Rizzoli will be the one. Hey, listen, if you're Rizzoli, you have 20 cases or 10 cases of VAR in all the Serie A. You're telling me that you are sitting on the chair with another 2 guys, and then you can tell, you're going to be able to tell me, yes, it's a penalty, no, it's not a penalty. I will take Rizzoli. Whether
My point is that they went to see it. It's not a problem that they didn't go see it. Okay, that happened in the past. In that case, it would help. But I think that if we
bigger
look at the
problem to solve
last, 5 penalties, 5, 6 penalties, they did go see it. And some people looking at the same thing say that it was not a penalty, and some people said it was a penalty. How can you look at the same thing and you say it was not a penalty, and some people said it was a penalty?
But that's why you have a majority. You take 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5.
Pete.
That's what I'm saying. Not the ref. The ref is only one person making that decision.
The only issue I have with the challenge is you're going to have the VAR check anyway, consistently checking, and you're going to have the silent check consistently checking. So like Gaetano said, if you're getting the call and the guy goes to see, the question isn't so much, why isn't VAR working? It's we have to try to get it right, or the referees, for example. I think the major problem this year that we've seen is the handball rule. The handball rule has been the most inconsistent thing, not just in Serie A, within all the top leagues, because you have one referee that sees it one way and another referee that sees it another way. Is it the intention? Is it there's too many parameters around a handball? intention, how far away is it from your body? You know, in the case where the Napoli-Fiorentina game, they got a handball. De Vrij, you know, just recently versus Napoli, had a handball, touched his hand. It wasn't intentional, you know, but they didn't call it. Versus Milan, you could say the same thing. Calabria
was
he wasn't looking,
bad.
not intention, whatever, gets the call.
But your buddy Rizzoli said it was a penalty.
You know?
Wait a moment, Rizzoli.
You just
But what is the
beg
natural
for
position?
Rizzoli.
When you're jumping and the ball is on your back, what is supposed to be the natural position of your body? Like
Yeah,
this?
speaking to the mic.
Yeah, Anto,
Speaking to the mic.
Okay.
Okay,
Let me show
but that has nothing to do with not going to the VAR.
Yeah,
That's
not going to fix anything.
Right, that's not going to fix. That's totally
Yeah.
different. You know what? Where it might help? There was in with Fiorentina Juventus. There was a play where Pezzella, I think it was Pezzella, Ronaldo was running.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was Pezzella or it was another defender.
Yeah.
And the guy
It wasn't Pezzella.
The guy opened his arm, and he was not looking at all at
Igor. It was Igor.
And he fouled
at
him.
Igor.
Yeah.
He was not looking at all at the
ball.
At the ball. You know, he just went. He saw Ronaldo and he opened his arm. Now that one, they didn't go see it. When they commented, they said there was a penalty. So there, maybe that would have helped.
Yes.
They would have said, okay,
Ronaldo could have told Sadi, "Oh, go check that."
right,
Because I got hit.
So that would have helped.
A challenge.
There was another one where Quadrato was running into the area and the guy hit him in the face.
Yeah.
They said that was a penalty.
against Milan.
That was not checked. Okay, so in that case, in those two cases, maybe it helped. But in the last 6-7 penalties, they did go check, and they still we still cannot decide whether it's a penalty or not a penalty.
But aren't they supposed to be checking that anyway? Because if it's a foul, potential foul in the area, they're supposed to check because it's a penalty. So there should be a silent VAR already set up in that
So
case.
somebody is checking, but since the referee did not call it, and I think there's a protocol which says, okay, I saw it, because they keep talking. The referee says, I saw it, it's not a penalty. And it
End of
ends like
story.
that. In that case, maybe what you're saying maybe it's going to work, because the coach could say, hey, I want to see that.
Exactly.
When the referee said, no, it's not a penalty. And maybe when he goes see it, that play that I'm talking about,
You can call it.
Maybe then
Exactly.
once you go see it, says, okay, maybe
Definitely
that's a
a
penalty.
positive in the positive
Right.
direction. That's
So,
why.
it
can
probably, it could help.
For sure.
It could help. But in the
against
last 6 penalties that I saw, they all went to see it. Some people say it's a penalty. Some people say it's no penalty.
You know what I will do? I will let somebody, which is the chief of all the referees, making the decision, not the referees on the field, because there's always some bias. You know what I will do? I would like to check
Anto,
the social medias of all of those guys to find out who they're cheering for.
You
it
are
up on your
missing.
phone.
You are missing
See
the point.
What's the point?
The point is that Rizzoli, okay, they said that when Ronaldo did the bicycle kick and Calabria went up, he came back and he was with the back to, so he didn't even know where he was.
He made
okay,
his body bigger.
But he made his body bigger. According to the rules, that's a penalty. Okay, that's what Rizzoli said, right?
Rizzoli, if you want a head, he's the head.
So that's what he said.
He's ahead of
So
the
what
referee.
you're saying is Rizzoli said that that's a rule. But when you look at it, when I look at it, when he looks at it, he goes, are you supposed to are you supposed to jump? When you jump, your hands have to go up. When you come down and you have the back, you don't,
Your hands are not supposed to be like this.
right, you don't even know where you
where you
are.
are, yeah.
So it's not that, it's the rule that is wrong. It's not the
referee,
application.
He's just following the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
The referee is applying the rule. And that's the rule. It's a penalty. And that's what happens. So you have to change the rule, not what you're saying. Rizzoli is saying that that's a penalty. But in the beginning of the season, there was a similar case with Cagliari where there was a corner kick and the guy had the ball. And when the guy had the ball, the defender turned around and he hit his hand. That was not a penalty. That should have been a
I think
penalty.
they were saying because it was a shot on goal. Ronaldo's was a shot on goal.
Okay, but it doesn't make a difference if it's a handball.
I'm just saying what I think.
Right,
that they were saying.
that's what they said. But I heard the referee, okay, one of the referees, this guy was a former referee. He said it does not make a difference whether it's a shot on goal. If it's a handball, it's a handball. It's inside the area, it's a penalty. And I agree with him.
There was another call actually on the Juve Milan game that Cuadrado had a handball too when he was sliding. A lot of people were talking
the
about
rule
that.
says that if you slide, it's not. If
So
you're on the
okay,
ground.
so that's why I wanted to bring it up because people were talking about that.
Yeah, because if you trying to
he
protect
had
yourself,
one against Atalanta too. Juventus. It touched his hand when he slid. And
if
they
you're
went out to go
sliding
check.
and then you have to protect yourself, you have to put your hand down to protect
so
yourself.
it's in the rule book. That's not correct.
Right.
Given a penalty.
Right.
I would. I think that this whole penalty thing is
It's
insane.
crazy. They gotta find-
we're giving too many opportunities to score a goal on occasions that most likely would not have. You went from a most likely not going to score a goal to most likely yes going to score a goal, and people will burn the system and do anything they can to be able to get away with it. So if it was me, I would said you need to take a good hard look at the end of the season and figure out how do we make less penalty kicks, because
Less
a penalty
soft-
kick is
yeah.
too easy of an opportunity to score a goal.
Too many soft penalties that are going on that shouldn't be penalties. Too.
What happened, Pete?
I was gonna say indirect fouls in the box, because
Oh,
that's part of the
man.
rule book
Those are
we don't
crazy.
apply.
You put 100 people on the wall over there.
I'm not opposed to it.
If
Those
you
get-
want to get rid of all the penalties.
Those get crazy.
I'm sick of. I am sick of them.
Or
though.
the question about
I'm sick of
penalty,
them.
you just like Peter said, hey, I happen to agree with you again, Pete. Today's twice.
Jeez, what's going on? You guys
So,
okay?
I
You
don't
feeling
know.
Okay?
No, Pete. I think I'll take that. I mean,
No, but it's
indirect
part of the
kick,
rule. It's
indirect
part of the
kick,
rule.
yeah.
You could have indirect.
Stop the game and then hey, it's a penalty
One-
now. It's 50-50. Maybe okay, I'll get you an indirect kick.
One really good note that we'll end on that we've been saying for a long time on this podcast since we started. Cagliari, they banned 3 racist fans who were caught singing racist chants. They banned them for life.
Good.
From the Sardinia Arena.
about time.
A great
For life.
movement. A great
Three
movement. They gotta
players,
start
they
doing.
found them on camera. They checked their names. They work with the police, the local police. They got their names, and they are no longer allowed to go to any events at the stadium.
Were they arrested or
No, I don't
just-
think
just
they're arrested.
banned from the
Okay.
stadium.
Very good.
So this
Good
is
job.
amazing.
Finally.
This-
Cellino, right?
Good job.
What's the name of the
No,
president
no
of the
longer.
Cagliari?
No, Cellino's Brescia.
Oh, what's the name of the president of Cagliari?
I don't even
Tommaso Giunti. No,
It's a great idea.
he's an Inter fan, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, wow.
You see how it goes full
Giulini.
circle?
Giulini.
Giulini.
But that's actually really good. Cagliari is one place that they've had a lot of problems with it, but at least hopefully it's a good direction, because when one does it, usually the next one it's easier for the next people to
To
do
put
it.
their foot down and continue
But at least it's
doing
what we
it.
said.
Yeah.
You got
Very
the
good.
videos, you got the
100%.
law
Good job.
enforcement, and it's good. What I'm really happy is that they didn't ban them just for a couple games, because that's
Exactly.
what
They
usually
do
They
that
made
in
a
England. In
statement.
England, they do that too now.
Yeah,
right?
they do for life.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
do
have
for life.
done that for
They've been doing
years.
it for a
And
while.
that's how they stopped
Good
everything.
statement from
guys.
Cagliari.
Anything else?
I want to say a few other things to all our fans. I said, hey, listen, guys, except for Gaetano, because he's been working, one of the few guys that works over here, according to him. So,
According to
we
him,
not, we not be wearing, all of us, we not be wearing the suits and all the stuff, but we are here prepared to just take the challenge of anybody that wants to challenge our technical knowledge.
Oh my
Doing
God.
Fighting over
Okay,
here.
easy.
You didn't
easy,
tell us
Mike,
about this.
Easy.
Yeah, I didn't hear about
The
this.
fact that we love the game and the fact that you guys
Support
are
us, right?
supporting us
Yeah.
day in and day out, because this is the main reason for us to be here, is because you guys are the biggest fan that we have, and we are your fans. So aside from that, do we have any merchandise on sale or
No, nothing's on sale.
Nothing on sale.
can go
Well,
to
I tried.
ItalianFootballTV.com.
I tried. So Marco and Mike, they actually sponsored the Viareggio's team that is going to Italy, right? Team.
Yeah, the jerseys look good.
Peter.
They do look good.
And Peter is one of the
They're gonna
coaches,
have-
or you one of the coaches,
No.
or the,
If you're one of the coaches, they're screwed.
So what do you do, Pete? What do
I'm
you
on
do?
the board.
That was a weird
No,
laugh.
Pete is on the board. Okay, on the what board? The board like that, or just the board? Pete is on the board. Anyway, please don't keep the Inter mentality into the Viareggio's team, because we want them to be winners. Okay, okay, and for all of you that you're going back to school right now, keep up with your studying, keep up with your A's, okay? And then we'll
And
take
rate-
it from there.
and rate
because
the podcast?
Rate the podcast. Even actually, you can study while you're listening to the podcast or watching the podcast.
Very good.
Okay, and then until then, you've rated with the 5 stars, and we'll take it from next week. All right?
Perfect.
Sounds
Cool,
good.
so good, all right?
As always,
That was
guys. Thank you for
perfect.
watching.
All right,
We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys. Forza Verona.